Hey boy, hey, what's up, Bernard? Coco, can you guys see me? Can you guys see me? Thank you, Danya. What's up, Curtis Session? I guess you guys can see me. Can you see me? Okay, you can. Okay, because I got it plugged up. And sometimes when I plug it up, you can't see me. I got the phone plugged up. Because it needs a charge, niece. What's up, Dante? Hey, boy, hey. Hey, girl, hey. Baby, when I say this apple is good, ain't nothing like a nice, cold, crisp apple. Ambrosia apples have become my favorite. I used to really like Honey Crisp, but them shits are too expensive. But these are good. Ambrosia. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook and YouTube gay shit and everything in between. Now, the service is a little suspect around here sometimes, amen? So hold on, because we're going to get to the promised land. I got the honest hour is tomorrow. This service to get myself a smoothie first, amen? Celery juice this morning, so you know that curves your appetite for a little bit. But I had my celery juice, and now I've had this apple, and now I'm on my way to. Is it clear now? Over here, it's terrible. Can y'all hear me? Hello, Donna Pert. And what about now? We still freezing? Okay. All right, well, let's start again. Good Facebook and YouTube live versions of so much to say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Niece, I'll thank you to those of you that sent something through to the Cash App this morning. I appreciate that. My girl Datis, Jose Roble, Kimberly Dooley. I can't remember if it was somebody else in there. I'm trying to think. But then I want to say thank you to my girl Imani. She purchased some So Much to Say merchandise. She went on over to the website and purchased some merchandise. So thank you very much, Imani. Hey, girl, hey. But I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, wait! Before I say that, tonight I'm going to be live on my Patreon at 9 p.m. I'm going to be discussing last night's episode of the T.S. Madison Experience. Now, I have a Patreon that I just finished that is actually uploading right now. So those of you that are on Patreon, you're gonna. If you don't go, shit, damn, don't you hate when somebody get you stuck at the light? All that, uh, all that Sunday driving. But at any rate, I'm uploading a Patreon right now, and so those of you that are on my Patreon, you will get that shortly, sometime after I do this live. And if you want to submit questions about the episode last night, that's what I'm talking to you about in that Patreon. But I'm also talking about some other stuff too that I'm going to elaborate on tonight. Things that happened in the episode yesterday. But so there you have it. Now, if you want to join the Patreon with somebody, please drop the link for the Patreon. Please don't drop the wrong link, niece. Some of y'all be trying to help and y'all be doing more hurt than anything. Hi, can I get a small nutty super grain smoothie, please?
Would you like to do a medium instead? It's gonna be $6. I think 6.65. It'll be cheaper than the small.
No, I just well,
Hmm?
you trying to upsell me?
No, it's $6. But if you do the small,
Yeah, go ahead and give me the medium one then.
okay,
That's fine. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, David W. Rumi said, I'm upset that you won't talk to us about the episode on YouTube. You know, because the things that I talk about, I get in the grit on the Patreon. So anyway, let me say this to you guys. The reason that I came into this live just now is because yesterday I was talking to one of my mom's girlfriends. Listen. But anyway, the reason I came on this Patreon is because I want to talk to you about a conversation that I had with one of my mom's girlfriends yesterday. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Especially those of you that are in Baltimore, my hometown. Now, I'm about to pull y'all together a little bit. Now, I love y'all. You know, I ride for Baltimore because that's my hometown. But all that shooting and killing and fighting and shit y'all up there doing, y'all need to cut that shit out. Y'all need to cut that shit out. You got my mama scared to leave the house and shit because y'all up there carrying on. Y'all done got to the point that y'all not just shooting and killing young folks. Y'all shooting and killing old folks, elderly people. Thank you, Letitia. Y'all shooting and killing old folks, knocking white folks. I mean, not white folks. Y'all knocking black folks down, old folks down, snatching purses and things. Like, that just don't make no damn sense. What is wrong with y'all? So anyway, I was talking to one of my moms. Damn, this is my favorite pen, and it just broke off in the top. Anyway, I was talking to one of my mom's good friends yesterday. I hadn't talked to her in a while. And I gave her a ring. And we were talking, and she was just saying how, hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm alright. Yourself?
I'm great.
I will try to give you the special because today I found on the special.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was talking to my mom's girlfriend yesterday, and she was just saying how, you know, she really wants to get away. She really wants to she wants to visit someplace. She said, it is just so terrible here. You know, I'm just so nervous to just go out of my house. Like, she doesn't even like to leave her house. Thank you. This how black I am. Do you see this? Do you see that fist? Do you see that? Oh, I didn't know you had my thing ready. Thank you. You too. And so she was just saying how she's scared to leave her house. And so she was saying how you know, she went to the grocery store the other day and she got out of her car and well, she saw, now this is a black woman. This is one of my mom's good friends. And she said, Craig, I hate to say it. She said, but I'm afraid of these young black men. You know how we always talk about white folks crossing the street, white women crossing the street when it's a black man walking on the street or whatever. But she said, Craig, listen, I'm afraid of crossing. Listen, I don't get out of my car. She said, I was leaving the grocery store the other day and I pulled up to my house and she said, you know, if I see one of them like young black teenagers walking. She said, I don't even get out of my car. She said, the other day I was sitting in my car and I was about to get out to take my groceries out. And she said, I saw this young black guy walking down the street. She said she saw him in the mirror. And she said, um, she sat in her car. She waited for him to pass. She said, because I was too afraid to get out. She said, because I'm just afraid that, one of them just going to knock me upside my head or push me down to try to take my purse. And so she said, she sat in the car and she waited for him to pass. And then when he passed, she got out of the car. Now, she's elderly now. She's in her 70s. So she ain't like me and you, how you can just jump out the car, grab your shit, and go on in the house. It takes her a minute to get out of her car. So she's getting out of the car and she's in the trunk of her car and she's pulling her bags out. And when she got out of the car, she noticed that the guy looked back. She said the guy looked back and she said he turned around and started coming back towards the car. Now, of course, she's panicking. She's nervous, right? And he says to her, now he's in his 20s. And he says to her, hi, ma'am, you need any help with your bags? Because she has several bags. She was coming from the grocery store. And she said she didn't even want to look at them. She just said, no, I'm fine. Thank you, though. Like she was trying to be very polite. And so she said he just reached and just grabbed her bag. Not in a violent way. He just reached and, grabbed the bag from her. And she said he was able to take all of her bags in his two hands and just walk up her steps. And she said he walked up, set them on her porch. And she lives in one of those houses where, you go up 3 steps and then there's a little walkway and then you go up the last few steps and you're on her porch. She said, Craig, by the time I got up to that first landing, he had already set the bags down on the steps and was coming back down. And she said, he said to her, have a good day, and then he walked off. And she said, but when he came back down, she said, I don't have any money to give you. And he said, ma'am, I don't want any money from you. You just look like you needed some help. And he said, I help Jewish women. I'll help anybody. I just thought you needed some help. So I offered some help. She said by the time she got to the door and she was trying to put her key in, she said the tears just started falling down her face. And I can't even believe that as I'm telling this story, I'm starting to get emotional because she told me the story yesterday and I didn't even think anything about it. But now that I'm retelling the story to you guys, it kind of brought tears to my eyes a little bit because it's just sad that she was paralyzed with fear. And the fact that she has been programmed to think the worst about our own people. And we had this conversation on the live before, not too long ago. And I remember, Derek J and I had this conversation. We were on a conversation of gay like me conversations. Or either we were on a live together. And I remember him saying, he's nervous around some of our people. And the reality is, and I know, I remember a lot of you in the comments were saying, oh, Chad, that don't make no sense. You're afraid of your own people. But the reality is, you shouldn't have to be. But the truth is, some of our people ain't our people. Some of our people ain't our people. You understand what I'm saying? And so she said she just kind of cried because she, one, felt bad for assuming the worst. 2, she felt bad because she's just not felt or received that kind of kindness from any young black men. She said, I don't remember the last time that a young black guy has offered to help me and didn't want some money or didn't want, you understand what I'm saying? Or without her feeling like she was going to be under attack. And so I said to her, I said, well, I wish you had said to him, you know what, son, I really feel bad but I just want to share with you that I was really, really nervous. The reason that I stayed in my car, because I think that we have to start opening up these conversations. What's up, Flame? I think we need to start opening up these conversations. And I think she should have kind of engaged him and said, I hate to say this, but I really was assuming the worst. When you walk down the street, I was waiting for you to pass because it's just so terrible in Baltimore. And I know in the comments, some of you are saying it's not just Baltimore, it's everywhere. I know that. But Baltimore is my hometown, and it is so terrible there. Like, it's one of the murder capitals in the country, and like they have for those of you who may not know, they have these ceasefires there periodically, and it's just like a community of people that are trying to get the gangbangers or whomever they are to just stop shooting for like a weekend. And I don't think they've had a successful one yet. I think they encourage people to not shoot, and because they have been killed, children getting killed, uh, seniors getting killed. I mean, at one point, and not to say that anybody should be getting killed, but per the conversation that I was having with my mom's friend yesterday, there was a time that women, children, and elderly were off limits. Now you got these Negroes killing everybody. And so when I was sharing the story with my mom was saying to me, she said, yeah, it's terrible here. She said, I don't even like to go anywhere. My mother doesn't even carry a purse no more because she's so scared somebody gonna rip her arm off or knock her down. And she said she thinks she ain't gonna be able to get back up off the ground. It ain't funny, but it was funny the way she said it. She said, I'm so afraid that somebody gonna try to yank my purse from me that I don't even carry no purse. So she carries my mother carries a little change purse. She said, and everything I need is right in that little change purse. Oh my God. So everything she needs is in this little change purse. And so to Courtney's point, in some instances, I understand why other communities of people are kind of nervous around Black people, Black men in particular, because of what we're seeing. Like somebody sent me a video yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? These Black guys, some of you probably saw it because it went viral. These Black guys in the airport fighting and carrying on and shit in the airport right at the TSA. And that TSA agent tagged the shit out of their asses with that taser. Like, why are you carrying on like this in the airport? And the point of me saying all of this is, with everybody else against us, we really can't afford to be against each other. We really can't. And so I posted something today across my social media. I put it on Facebook, I put it on Instagram, and I put it on YouTube. I put a post. Valerie Jarrett, she was an aide to President Obama. She used to work with President Obama. And she tweeted something about the Republicans in Georgia just passed. You remember how like the voting lines were so long this past voting season? And remember, I was doing my lives and I was encouraging you guys to stand in the line. If you need to take a folding chair, take you some bottled water, take you some snacks. Listen, the Republicans in Georgia have just passed legislation, a law that now makes it illegal for someone to bring you bottled water or food if you're standing in a voting line. Now, what kind of foolishness is that? Do you understand the limits and the extremes that these folk are going to try to suppress the Black vote? For those of you who think that it doesn't matter if you vote or not, if it didn't matter, why would they be going to these extremes? How the fuck you gonna make it illegal to bring bottled water or water and food to somebody in the voting line? Are you serious right now? But Stacey Abrams is on it. But see, this is what I say to you guys all the time. Your job is not done after you vote. Your job is not done after you vote. And, I'm going to talk about this more tonight on my Patreon. But let me just say this now while I have your attention. For all of the people that were trying to light me up yesterday for not moving that outdoor heater, this is where your attention really needs to be. Your attention needs to be on shit that really matters, shit that really counts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because they can't win fairly, yes, because they can't win fairly, they want to cheat. And so, you really have to pay attention to what's going on. And so going back to what I was saying a moment ago about these heathens in the airport fighting. And listen, and because they were in the airport, there were no guns, because I'm sure they came through security and all that other stuff. But can you imagine if they did not, if they weren't at the airport, there probably would have been a shootout. they probably would have been a shootout. But that shooting and shit in Baltimore and all that killing, it really needs to end. It needs to end across this country. But I'm speaking specifically to Baltimore because I'm from Baltimore. And just to hear my mom's friend who is afraid to leave home, like the conversation went on to say, we went on to talk about, um, she was saying to me that she doesn't even go to the ATM. She said sometimes when I get a check, she said I just wait till the bank is open and I go to the drive-through, at the bank, and then she just deposits her check like that. She said, because Craig, I'm so nervous to just even go to the bank, like even go into the bank. Like it's sad when you feel like you're a prisoner in your own home, in your own city. And so, like I said, my mom says the same thing. She said, well, I don't really go anywhere. I just go to the grocery store. Like you got older people that are afraid to leave their house because you got stray bullets just going all over the place in Baltimore. And when I go home, to Baltimore, I haven't been home in over a year now because of the pandemic. My mom will be here this Wednesday, but I haven't been home in over a year. But typically I go home like twice a year. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm from Baltimore, but I have not lived at home since I was 18. I'm 44. And when I go home, I'm nervous. And you can't tell me I'm not a bad nigga. Look, I'm nervous when I go home. I'm making sure that the doors are locked in the car. I'm not really staying out too late at night. Like I'm just not with all of that. Like I'm just not. Like if we can't get it done by the time the sun go down, I'm gonna have to see y'all tomorrow. I don't do all of that because the last thing I need is to get shot and killed on a trip home. I'm visiting home and got shot for the weekend. It's just really unfortunate. I mean, like I'm antsy when I'm home. Like my guards are definitely up. I'm making sure that the doors are locked. And then one of the times, I think this may have been the last time I was home, I came so very close. To cussing my own father out. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, I don't believe in disrespecting parents and stuff, but my father almost got it. It was like 11 something at night. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And I just told you, like, I don't, listen, I'm not trying to go nowhere to eat late. I'm not trying to stop nowhere. Take me home. Right. The headline will read, gay author shot and killed. So one time I was home and my dad decides he's going to stop at the ATM at 11 o'clock. It was 11 something at night. And he pulls into the ATM and I'm like, where are you going? He said, I just need to get $20. First of all, my life is not worth $20. It's worth more than $20. That goddamn $20, you could have waited till tomorrow to get that. He told me, well, I just need to get $20. First of all, what you doing with $20 tonight? Nothing. You could have waited to do that tomorrow. So this is just a cautionary tale for those of you who stopping at the ATM at night. Like that don't make no sense. Cut that shit out. Like that don't make no that. I got into it so bad with my father that day. I was furious with him. And I told him, I said, don't you ever pull no, I didn't curse. I'm going to curse now because I need to put a little yeast in the story. But I said to him, I said, don't you ever pull no shit like that with me in the car. I said, 11 o'clock at night, I said, you do that shit on your time. And again, I didn't curse to my dad because I know the people in the GED section, he don't make no sense. He talking to his father like that. But no, I didn't say that, but that's what I wanted to say. And it's just like, you don't put somebody's life at risk like that. If you want to stop at the ATM, you do that on your time. You don't do that while I'm in the car. You don't do that while I'm in the car. And see, he one of them county Negroes talking about, well, I live in Baltimore. I live in the county. I don't give a damn where you live. It's terrible all over up there. Yeah, you don't need to be getting no gas at night. Yeah, you don't even need cash no more. And look, you don't need to get no gas at night, ladies, gentlemen, whoever. I don't care who you are. You don't need to get no gas at night. I don't care how bad you think you are. Avoid the situation. Avoid it. Just wait and get your gas the next morning. If you're afraid you're going to be late to work, then get your ass up 10 minutes early so you can stop and get your gas and then keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to stop at the ATM for $20. I'm like, well, what you need $20 tonight for? But I was so pissed off with him. Hey, India. Hey, girl. Hey. I was so pissed off with him because it's like, now, what if somebody came up to the car and he gonna joke about it? What if somebody? I said to him, what if somebody came up to this car with a gun? He said, well, I said, what if somebody come up to you while you at the ATM? He said, well, I got you in the car, son. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? I ain't got no damn gun. I've been pulled off and left your ass standing at the ATM. And I'll be at the funeral talking about, well, unfortunately, he stopped at the ATM for $20. Um, and there was nothing I could do, so I put the car in reverse and I just pulled off. He had already been shot, so I mean, it wasn't no need in both of us getting shot. But yeah, so I mean, it just bothered me. Like, and he was so cavalier about it, but he knew I meant business. I said, don't you ever try that again. I said, don't you ever try that again with me in the car. And like, to those of you, don't be stopping at no ATM with people in the car with you. Like, you need to respect other people's safety. Gas station, all that shit can wait. Grocery store. I ain't going to no grocery store late at night in Baltimore. And that's not to say that there's no crime in Atlanta. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it seems that crime has just completely swallowed Baltimore up. It really does. And it bothers me. And I don't know if I've ever shared this story with you guys, but probably about 10 years ago, if not longer, I remember I had gone home. I had gone home to Baltimore. And this particular time, I had rented a car. I think I had rented a car. But anyway, I was driving. I remember I was by myself. And it was nighttime. And I don't know. Those of you that are from Baltimore, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But I was on Park Heights. And I had just passed Park Circle. Excuse me. So I was on Park Heights down there by Good Shepherd Church. And when you get up there by like Shirley Avenue and all those places right there on Park Heights, you remember once upon a time back in the day, you could look over and Ricerstown Road runs parallel with Park Heights. But you could not see Ricerstown Road from Park Heights or vice versa because there were houses, there were trees. So you couldn't see from one, even though the streets were parallel, you couldn't see to the other street. Well, baby, I was sitting at a light and I happened to look over and I could see clear on to Ricerstown Road because there were no trees. There were so many abandoned houses that they were dilapidated. And then a lot of them had come down it was just a mess. And I literally sat in the car and my eyes got watery. I think I may have shed a tear or two because and like I said, this was like 10, 12, maybe 13 years ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was now. But I remember feeling so sad for my city because the decline was so slow, but so steady and progressive that the people that lived there, I don't even think that they were aware that the city was crumbling and just falling apart. Because it's hard to see that when you're in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you see somebody every single day and they're losing weight, but you work with them every day or you're in a relationship with them or you live with them or whatever. You see them every day. So you may not see that they're losing 3 pounds here, 5 pounds there. But somebody who hasn't seen them in 6 months or a year be like, oh my God, you lost weight. Same thing. When I went home, I saw the deterioration, but it was almost like the people that lived there didn't notice it because they were there as it was happening. And I remember just seeing so many. At that point, it just made me realize that no matter where God takes me and whatever he does for me in my life in terms of my career and, whatever, it planted the seed for me that I have to do something in that city. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But it's one of those things that I think about it all the time. And I think about the Jada Pinkett's of the world that's from Baltimore. I don't know if she's ever done anything for Baltimore. I don't know. This is not a bash Jada Pinkett thing because she could be secretly doing stuff. But I just feel like there's something that needs to be done in that city because I think there's a lot of talent there. I think there's a lot of untapped talent, but I think there's a lot of depressed people And I think there are a lot of people that get lost there because there's not a lot of opportunity, and because it's so depressed. It's such a depressed city. And when the whole Freddie Gray thing happened, I remember thinking that eruption, that explosion, that riot that happened, that was just a culmination of things. It was like a snowball effect of years of a people that's been overlooked, and that's been disenfranchised, and that's been removed or eliminated from opportunity. And I just think that it was a cry for help. Yes, the people were fighting and rioting for Freddie Gray, but this was a Baltimore thing. This was a thing of, we've been overlooked and cut off from so many resources. It was a cry for help. And so for me, I just feel like at some point I would have to do something in that city. Um, and that's why, my friends that have that nonprofit organization that I shared with you guys before, remember we collected money for them. It's called the Catherine Family and Children's Services. Remember I told you they collect, um, well, not collect, but they're a nonprofit in my community where I grew up in Baltimore. But the need is so great in Baltimore that they have moved beyond the zip code that I grew up in. They now service Baltimore City completely, because what they do is try to help underprivileged families. They help with children going back to school. They do backpacks and school supplies to send them to school. They do Thanksgiving and Christmas meals and all kinds of stuff. But one of the things I have them working on something because I want to help them with something. I think I shared this with you guys before. They're trying to buy a van because they do summer camp for the kids. Because I think another reason that a lot of this violence is happening in Baltimore is because there's nothing to do. And you got all these kids walking around with nothing to do, no resources, no playgrounds, no parks. And they're shooting and fighting and killing each other. But one of the things that the Catherine Family and Children's Services is trying to do, they're trying to purchase a van because they have a summer camp every summer. They feed the children breakfast and lunch and do all this other stuff. Where they're trying to purchase a van so they can, be able to do things with the kids, take them on field trips and whatever. And what I want us to do, and I'm going to help. And if you guys want to support, you can. If you don't want to, then fine. Just say your prayers. I'm going to open it up to you guys because they need resources, because they're going to purchase a van, but then they have to pay for car insurance. So there's a lot of rolling expenses. And so I want to help them as much as I can because I know these two people. It's two Black women, friends of mine that I grew up with, and they're doing a great thing in a city that really needs as much help as it can get. And so when the time comes, I will let you guys know. Um, One of the ladies just had surgery. So I'm waiting for them to get back to me in terms of, when they're going to purchase this van and all this other stuff. But I just had to come on here and talk to you guys about that because, again, it broke my heart to hear my mom's friend. And I've had these conversations with my mom before about the city and being, violent and stuff like that. But I guess to hear someone else, another one of my mom's friends say it, it just it just and I could imagine her trying to take her groceries up, and what she said to me, what my mom's girlfriend said to me, she said, I just didn't expect a young Black man to help me. She said, and she lives in a community that's a lot of Jewish people there. She said, and I definitely didn't expect the Jewish men to help me. She said, but with the Jewish men, I don't expect that they're going to hurt me. And she said, and every now and then, sometimes the Jewish women will help me. They'll say, ma'am, do you need help with your bag? And she'll say, no, I got it. And the Jewish woman might say, well, a Jewish lady may say, well, come on, let me just help you with this one. And my mom's friend said, but the Jewish man will stand right there and won't even offer any help. But we have to be better as a community, Black people. We have to be better as a community because ain't nobody else going to check for us and help us the way we can help each other. Right. And so it really, really broke my heart to hear her say that. We have to change this. And so let me just tie this in. I'm gonna tie this last thing in, and then I'm gonna get off of here. So when people try to tear me up and claw me in my back and say that I'm arrogant and I think I'm all this, that, and the third because I use all of these words and this, that, and the third, I'm trying to change the narrative of how we see Black men in this country. So if that's a problem for you, then that's your problem. But on that note, Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. I will be live tonight on my Patreon discussing last night's episode of the T.S. Madison Experience. Again, those of you that sent a Cash App today, I appreciate it. Datis. Um, I named a few people. I can't remember everybody else. But thank you guys for supporting what I do. Thank you guys for purchasing the books. And don't forget, tomorrow is the Honest Hour at 9 o'clock. It's only going to be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. All right? Bye.